Hi, I'm Hardy, and I'm going to demo the Android application project that I did during the spring of 2012 term at UBC. The development environment for this project is in Eclipse, and we also used an Android plugin. The project, in a nutshell, is a walking tour map of the UBC Vancouver campus. Now, this tour map showcases the top sustainability features around campus and also provides a good list of food services around campus. The target are for people who are either new to UBC or tourists who visit campus. The app itself is very much like a simplified version of a Google map. It uses MapsForge, and we also integrated the Yelp API. Now, in this walkthrough, you will see several design features or tasks that I did, and I will list them briefly to start with. You will see this being a map application, a widespread use of the MapsForge API, and that will include overlaying, and then we have the different map layers, different pins, different routes, and then somewhere hidden behind the scenes, you might not see it at the original application, but we did a lot of XML and JSON objects parsing, and as I mentioned, integration of the Yelp API, and also we use location services because we need to know the user's GPS location, so that is a good example of an observer design pattern. And also being a touch-based event, there will be a lot of event handling that we did in our code. So let's just jump right into the demo now. But maybe before I start, I would like to mention that my project member and I ended up adding in quite many bonus features on top of what the project required. So I will just flag the bonus features along as we go in the walkthrough. So when we fire up the emulator, this is what we will see in the main page. It's an Android emulator, and let's just launch the app. Alright, now the app has already launched, and by default it comes with all the sustainability features on campus being selected. Now let's go, so we have a tab which we call the point of interest, which are the buildings that have some eco features. And then we can go to another tab that actually lists the features of those buildings. For instance, some of the buildings have biofuel capacity, some are LEED certified, and so on and so on. And the main bulk of the use of this application will be on the map tab. So it will have all the pins showing the building locations of interest, and a blue route will be automatically drawn to show the walking tour that a user might use. Now let's first start by entering the GPS location of the user. I'm just going to enter the location of the computer science building so that we can get a starting point. 26. Send, and you'll see now this custom user location icon appearing, and you also notice that automatically a dotted black line is drawn showing the closest way in which a user can join the tour to one of those selected buildings. And let's just make sure that the GPS update works. So let's change the user location to something else. Let's say 49.269, and you'll notice that the pin will move. There you go, it will move up, and then again, as I mentioned, the black dot will be replotted automatically. Now in this case, our closest building of interest is the Life Science Center. We can select that by just clicking on the building, and the feature will pop up with a little description. And let's now try to deselect some of these buildings and see if the tour routes are plotted correctly. Now remember, just now our closest point of interest was the Life Science Center, so now let's deliberately deselect that building, and we can see that once that Life Science Center is gone, the pin is gone, and also the route from the user is automatically corrected to point to the nearest the closest location now, which is now the law building. And I'm gonna show some functionality with the Yelp support for food services. So let's try to pick a building that we wanna zoom in. Let's say this is the state-of-the-art living laboratory of LEED certified buildings, and that's called the CIRS building. I'm gonna click on the nearest food icon here, and once you do that, there you go, 3 pins of the 3 nearest food location will appear, and also a route in red will be automatically plotted from the user to the food location. Now let's try to click on one of these food locations. For instance, this is Point Grill, and you can see a little description of that. This is information that we obtained from Yelp. This is the 3-star reviews out of 8 reviews, and then it's a type of American food. And if you notice, the hamburger there is actually a context-specific customized icons. So depending on which restaurant you select and what categories they are, it will show up with the appropriate icon. In this case, that's the hamburger. So we also created a code for that. And let's try to say directions. That means we want to go to Point Grill, and once you click that, my route plotter will automatically plot the red route to Point Grill. And note also that how the other 2 other locations have disappeared, so we won't confuse the user. And now let's try something else that we added as a feature. Remember, when we click Point Grill just now, there is a globe button that I can click, and it will then bring me up to the browser, and it will connect to the Yelp website for that specific food location. So we'll see that Point Grill is showing up, and you can read more details and have more information as to whether you would want to come here and eat. Let's now go back. Okay. Alright, so let's now try another location. I'm gonna bring us somewhere closer to the east side. There's a place called the University Village. So I'm gonna change the GPS to 0.246 and 267. 49 to 67. Okay, so now I'm around here. If I then click on the user, I can also, instead of trying to find food location closest to a specific building, I can just try to find a food location closest to the user. So I'll click on the user icon, and I'll say nearest food, and then 3 will pop up there, and I'm just going to zoom in so that we can have a better view. Now all these are being drawn in real time as we run the app. So here I am, somewhere along University Boulevard. There are 3 food locations, and I can again check what they are. For instance, there's this place called Leona Mediterranean, and as I mentioned, the chili icon appeared because it's a spicy food. We picked that icon. And then there's another near one, I think sushi, that I can choose, or I can go to have a Mongolian barbecue. Right, and next one, let's try picking the chemistry center. That is the chemistry center. So remember how right now I have the nearest food location that are plotted from where the user location is, right? Now what I want to try is I will then click on the chemistry center and say I want to go to the nearest food locations from here, and I have to make sure that my app actually shows 3 locations from here and get rid of these 3. So let's try that. nearest food, and there you go. So the old 3 are now gone, and now I have other food locations that the map is showing. So there's this place called the Delhi, which serves the Indian food. Okay, so everything seems to work now. And what happens if I am a newcomer to UBC or just a tourist? I can either choose to join and walk through all the buildings, or if I do know that, hey, I'm only interested in several of the buildings, say, let's try to deselect all of them first. And of course, if nothing is selected, the map will be updated to be no buildings. But let's say I'm only somebody interested in the Bioenergy Research Center and the CK Choi building and maybe the UBC Farm, those 3 buildings. Let's select the 3, and then when I click on the map tab, then you see that yes, it only shows me the 3 points of interest that I want, and it tells me how best or how easiest I can walk to join one of those buildings. Now we also added several buttons called the menu button. Right, so when I click on the menu button, 2 options will appear. Either I can clear the existing food locations shown on map, so when I do that, then all the red pins will be gone. Or there's also one called all food that will show all the food locations that are around me on campus. So there you go. I think there's maybe some 15 to 20 food locations, and when all the food locations come out, my red dotted line will be replotted automatically to the nearest food location. So you can zoom out, and you can pick your selection as you wish as you explore the UBC campus. So that is the application that we made. Now I mentioned that we did several bonus features in the project. The project in itself took about 5 weeks to complete, so it is indeed quite intense, because as you can see from here, there is quite a lot of coding that we did, and a lot of times we have to learn things from scratch, like how to use the Yelp API, how to integrate sort of different overlays during MapsForge. So it was a very very intense and very rewarding project, and indeed given the bonus features that we did, we got invited to a sort of special demo with the senior supervisor, senior instructor, and we received thankfully a 110 out of 100 mark. So of course we were very happy, and we were actually quite very proud of what we did. So we even created a marketing poster before we went to the demo. So I'll show you the poster that we did. That's a little poster that I designed. The demo was on April 3rd, and my name is Wijaya, and Stefan Karach is my other partner. And for the demo, we also created a user-friendly testing script, which we distributed to instructors and students so that they can go and test the application further. Thank you for watching.